Are you ready to challenge yourself and think bigger? I'm your host, Marianne Marchese, and together we'll hear the unfiltered, unscripted stories of those who've taken big risks and transformed their bold ideas into reality. Season 1 is brought to you by multi-award-winning law firm Legalite, where bold ideas thrive. Today, I'm welcoming Kate Save, dietitian, exercise physiologist, diabetes educator, and now the force behind BeFit Food. After seeing how limited and supplement-driven the weight loss industry had become, Kate created an Australian first, scientifically formulated, dietitian-designed whole food meal programs that deliver rapid, clinically backed results. BeFit Food has twice been named a winner in the Telstra Business of the Year Awards, is stocked in Chemist Warehouse, Richie's IGA stores and other retailers nationally, giving Aussies a bold, evidence-based alternative to diet culture. Hi, Kate.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Welcome. Kate, I'd love to know about when you first started BeFit Food. What problem were you seeing over and over again that made you think, I have to start this business?
I'd literally had my other company about 7 or 8 years at that stage, and I'd seen over 10,000 patients. And they'd all be so motivated in the dietitian consult. They'd walk away with a food record. The first 3 days would be filled out perfectly, and then the rest of the 2 weeks would be a mess. And the number one reason why they couldn't stick to a food program was because they were time poor. And they would then come in for months and months later with bags full of empty packages, labels saying, I tried this, is this good, is this good? And I'd always be like, oh, it's okay. But they're like, well, what can I buy? And I think you hear that enough and you realize, why aren't people actually making what we should be eating? They're making what makes them money, what's marketable, what's cost effective. And at the end of the day, when you've got people sitting in front of you who are desperate for a health change, and it could be weight loss, but more often than not, weight loss is the superficial reason. You know, it's always something more than that. Whether it's their health or they've had a scare, or even people in the media that might get a scare with a heart attack or something like that. I know when Shane Warne passed, we got a heap of mails coming through because all of a sudden the reality of someone so young and so fit and healthy in people's minds just disappearing.
It's like a wake-up call.
Yeah. So, that was really... if no one else was going to do it, I had no intention of starting a food company, and I definitely had no idea what it was going to involve other than writing the recipes and then cooking them, and then, wow, did we learn a lot.
Yeah, of course, because, you're a dietitian by background. You obviously know the food and you know what's good for you, but then running a food business is a whole other thing.
Yeah, completely out of my comfort zone. And we understand labels and label regulation, but physically having to buy the machinery that prints the labels and sleeves and packaging and understanding the different types of films, the different grades of freezer grade and how things crack or transport, and then the whole logistics piece. And because we grew so quickly, we went from doing sort of 30 meals a week in the first couple of weeks to 100 to 300 to 1,000. And then we had Shark Tank and went to sort of up to 30,000 meals a week.
Amazing. I would so love to chat about that as well. Was it just you to begin with? Was it you in the kitchen,
Yeah, so I founded the company with a weight loss surgeon, and the problem we were initially solving was that when people were actually going for weight loss surgery, they were being put on what we call a VLED, a very low energy diet or very low calorie diet, VLCD. And that is the global standard around the world for weight loss prior to surgery. So it shrinks the liver. So what that actually means is synthetic bar or shake meal replacements that you find on the shelf in a pharmacy. And you would have 3 of those a day and it would shrink your liver. But the side effect of that is you would lose a heap of weight. And what people then were finding was, because they lost so much weight prior to their weight loss surgery on chocolate bars and shakes, they would think that when they started regaining weight in 2 years or something like that, that they'd just go back to eating chocolate bars and shakes and the weight would fall off. And of course that...
I imagine that's so unhealthy as well. Like I can't imagine living on chocolate bars and shakes. I mean, it sounds amazing, but probably not that healthy for you.
And not good role modelling. So over this process, so I just had, when I founded BeFit Food, I had a 1-year-old, gave birth to the newborn. And so I had 2 under 2 for like a week or two, a couple of weeks. And I
Still
just
counts.
and 2 girls. And all I could think about is I don't ever want my kids having that sort of role modelling with the dieting culture, skipping meals, replacing meals with non-food, knowing that it doesn't end well. And I'd seen a lot of kids with eating disorders through my career.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and like horrifically bad. And when you get close to these kids and you start to find out what drives it, apart from bullying and, you know, there could be family circumstances, things like that, there's always that lack of self-confidence, but there's some sort of diet culture that sits behind that is not food-based either. It's, you know, they pick up a protein bar or whatever and they decide, well, I can count the macros on this so I know what's in it. So that's what I'll eat. And it's like, well, what is actually in that? Can you tell me what those ingredients are? Can you make that at home in your kitchen? Or I don't know what the ingredients are and I can't make it. That is not food in that bar. Do not eat that. And there's this false economy of man-made food out there that is, it's not really food, but because we could print things on a label and tell people, read the macros, we're being tricked to think that all of the stuff in the supermarket is food. It's not food. It didn't come from,
it's not, it's processed.
Yeah. And it's ultra processed because you can't make it at home. You can't buy those ingredients on the shelf. So what is it?
Yeah.
And so I just knew we needed to set people up on real food so that we change their habits. What we found from that is some people wouldn't go through with the surgery because all of a sudden they went, oh, I've never lost weight on food before. This is so easy. Why didn't people tell me I could just eat like this and that's all I have to do?
Why didn't anyone tell me? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally get that.
I
totally get what you were saying earlier as well about, you know, even if you do know what to do and what to eat, that time factor. Like I can't tell you how many bloody diet plans and food plans I've bought or, you know, seen dietitians or nutritionists, but I just don't have the time to go grocery shopping and then, you know, prep the meal every single day. And sometimes, you know, if you're really committing to it 3 times a day for each meal plus snacks. So you've obviously solved a really critical problem. And you launched this back in 2015 before this kind of, you know, food and meal programs were not really a thing back then.
That's right. So we launched when all the kind of big guys now were launching, and we were all sort of very early in a market that was very uncertain. I feel like it didn't really blow up until COVID. But for us, that was pretty destructive because we were about health improvement. And we were small meals that help people achieve a goal for a big occasion or because of a health crisis. So when COVID happened, there was no weddings, no birthday parties, no big events, no holidays, nothing that inspired people to change. And when it came to health, they forgot about anything health other than getting COVID. So we didn't really exist for that couple of years when all of the others were on the rise because they had, I don't know, more sexy food. Our food is not sexy. It's meat and vegetables, herbs and spices. It's there for a purpose. It's to change your health. Whereas the other meal companies are there to tantalize your taste buds, to look amazing on Instagram. I can guarantee you they will not, if we did a pathology test on you, reduce your blood sugar levels, improve your liver function, reduce your fasting insulin or your insulin tolerance, reduce your cholesterol, your triglycerides. That is what our food's designed to do. We don't care how it looks. We know it tastes good if you have a healthy palate. So if you like the taste of meat and veggies, herbs and spices, but it wasn't about making it sexy food. It was functional,
like, you know,
food.
Insta-worthy food. This is about what it feeds your body.
Has time to do that at home. And I'm a busy parent, and these are the meals that I would cook for my kids. I would cook for my dad. Dad mostly cooks for me, thanks Dad. But there were a lot of Dad's recipes actually. They're just healthy, homemade things, but we just adjust the ratios of carbs and protein to help the body burn body fat. So they're not keto. We're not filling them up with fat. We're not filling them up with fillers to make them big and hearty and super satisfying. We're putting in there what your body needs to be able to burn your own body fat and fix any biochemistry or anything in the body that's not working. So we reset metabolism.
And it's true to the purpose of why you started this, which is so great. And so you mentioned COVID was destructive to you. It makes sense as you're talking about, you know, the reasons for that. But was it 2017 that you went on Shark Tank?
Yes, so 2017,
pre-COVID, okay.
Yeah.
And you did get an investment from Janine Ellis during Shark Tank, and that, you touched on it earlier, completely changed the trajectory of your business. So I want to talk about that, and then I might kind of jump forward to COVID.
Yeah, so I guess Shark Tank is not as it seems, and people are hearing this a little bit now, but I was literally, you know, you jump on a plane the night before, you turn up at your accommodation. My business partner and I were put in the same room. We are not partners. And I'm like, we need to find another hotel because we are not staying together. And so that was already a disaster. So midnight, we're finding a place to stay. Get up the next morning into Fox Studios, got told you've got a 1-minute pitch, walk out on the red carpet. And I was going on my own because my business partner was told it was career suicide if we went on it. So I pulled out the first year as I was going through the audition phase, and then a year later I just knew we needed help. We needed a mentor. We needed someone with connections, and we needed to tell our story to greater than our little client database. And so I decided I was going to go on anyway, and he wasn't going to go on. And so I went out, did the 1-minute pitch, and 2 hours and 15 minutes later, I am still answering questions, no break.
I was going to say, was it a minute? Because I watched just a snippet of it. I was like, I'm sure I was watching for longer than a minute.
Well, yeah, it was cut down to about 7 minutes, but it was 2 hours, no toilet breaks, no, can I look something up? Can I get a drink? Can I? So you are completely there for entertainment purposes. And in the end, I bought the surgeon out for proof of life because I was exhausted, and I thought, if I bring him out, maybe I can just close the deal. And so we did close the deal. We had offers from Steve Baxter and Janine Ellis, and I went with Janine because I'd gone on the show because I wanted a female mentor. I wanted someone in food, someone who understood what I was going through. Anyway, the biggest problem that I thought after we had the photos, and I thought, where do we collect the checks from, was I wonder if it's one of those really big checks that you know, maybe I'll frame it on the wall, and how exciting, how do I get it on the plane? Well, there was no check. There was no big check, no little check. And it was 10 or 11 months of, I went through due diligence and just got told no every month for months on end. And it was only after Shark Tank went to air. So it was filmed in November 2016, went to air August 15th, 2017, and we didn't get investment until October 2017.
Wow.
So as you can imagine, I had prepped to be on the show. And I thought we were getting investment.
And then the influx from like immediately after, when you still hadn't had the investment, that must have been a huge strain.
Huge. So literally 1,500% growth overnight. I had a team of 5 people, and within 4 weeks, I single-handedly grew my team to 63 people to try and service the demand that we had. And
oh my God, that's giving me like heart palpitations.
A absolute disaster. However, the more that people told me to just throw it in, you can't do it, you can't meet the demands, you don't know what you're doing, the more determined I was to figure it out. Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah. So it took about 2 years to rebuild everything at that sort of scale and economy. And we went to national home delivery and started retailing, started stores and bits and pieces. But yeah, tell me I can't and I'll find a way.
I love that. Oh gosh, I love that. And so do you think then that Shark Tank's main benefit was that it did kind of force you to scale up really quickly?
Yeah, and there's no way any person in their right mind would try and do that without the force of the world on their shoulders. And I literally mean, like, the first day that I went into the office after it had been on Shark Tank that night, our website was completely crashed. So it crashed once 60,000 people hit it and tried to add to cart. And then we really couldn't open the website much for the next sort of 2 to 3 months after that because it was just constantly crashing. It just wasn't built for scale.
Yeah.
And so we had no idea what we'd sold until 9:05 the next morning when there wasn't a single meal left in the building. There was 2,500 orders to service of 7 days worth of food, breakfast, lunch, dinner and snacks.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just more than we could ever imagine. And I can see why it seemed unrealistic to keep going to most people, but we offered everyone a refund and 90% of people just said, no, I will wait indefinitely until I get the food.
Yeah,
I really want the food. And so we just had to find a way. There was no way out.
And now I imagine you've learnt so much, obviously, from that experience. If you got like 60,000 orders tomorrow, what's changed to enable you to now service that?
I mean, that would be the dream. We can service pretty much unlimited capacity now. We've built systems that enable us to continue to grow, to service any demand. We can scale up, we can scale down. I think firstly, you've got your software systems, but then you've got your services and you've got your network of people that are in that league in scaled businesses. So when you're doing it on your own, so I literally had a fish and chip shop that a friend of mine bought for $1 for me that I turned into a commercial kitchen and a tiny little team. And you need the infrastructure, like millions of dollars worth of equipment to actually be able to do what you need to do. And you need to know the people who have that to help you because you don't just wake up one day and have that money.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love that you've like essentially bootstrapped this for most of the journey. Is Janine, did she ever become an investor?
She did.
Okay, she did. Is she still?
She's not now, but I worked with her for 4 years. She was an incredible mentor. I guess everything that you see with Janine's pretty authentic. So she's pretty hard, but that's good because I'm way too soft. So I learned a lot and I learned very quickly. And she knows business inside out. And yes, it was an incredible journey, but I bought out all of my business partners a couple of years ago.
Oh, congratulations. That's
huge. Thank you. And then I did crowdfunding and that was really because lots of different things, but I personally am very strong with the vision of the business and where we're going, and it is very much about health improvement. It is science first. It is evidence-based, and it's not fluffy marketing. I'm not looking for a quick dollar. I'm not looking for that quick tagline type thing, which is the long game, I guess, and not everyone's in for the long game.
So do you think you'll be in this business for life? Like, is this your future for the long term till you retire on a yacht somewhere?
That sounds delightful. Look, I have no intentions of going anywhere and I love scaling now that I've had a taste of that. So I think the best way for us to scale now is you find the right partnerships. We've worked with one of the universities and just had a study published that took 6 years from inception.
Oh, wow.
And it's the first study in the world, actually got published in October this year. And it's comparing whole food, very low calorie diets to these synthetic supplements and shake-based very low calorie diets as meal replacements. And what it shows is that no matter which one you do, whether you have your 3 shakes or bars a day or you have our wholemeal beef lasagna, Italian beef meatballs and a naked burrito bowl and a couple of protein balls, you will lose the same amount of weight. But when you lose it with food, you maintain more muscle mass. You have better appetite regulation because your hunger hormone leptin stays stable, so your appetite doesn't go through the roof like it does. It becomes unstable when you're doing it in an we would know that is an unsustainable way, I guess, but science hadn't proven that. And the third thing is it actually improves the gut microbiome diversity. So you had more different species of bacteria, but there was 45 beneficial gut bacteria that came from the food, which going back to that analogy at the start, just because you pick up a label and the macros look right, look at the ingredients. If you cannot make that from scratch at home by yourself, don't eat it.
Don't put it
in
your
body.
It's
not food. Yeah, it's some sort of, I don't know, man-made chemical food thing that is not what the cells in the body are looking for. The forebrain is telling us good macros. You put that in the body and the body's going, no, that's not real food. We're not going to turn that into muscle. We're not going to regulate appetite. We're not going to, sprout nice, healthy bacteria that'll keep you healthy.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And it kind of leads me to a question that I had around Ozempic and other medical weight loss drugs. They've completely changed the conversation around weight loss. It's, rapid weight loss has always been a thing, but I feel like now more than ever with celebrities using it and glamorizing it. What are your thoughts on weight loss drugs like Ozempic?
As you can imagine, anywhere that I go where I'm in a public place and people find out I'm a dietitian, they ask my thoughts on
What
this.
do you think about Ozempic?
So I have very strong opinions, and there are a lot of people out there that can't do things on their own, right? They need that Kickstarter. They need help. But my first rule is if you're thinking about starting it, let's get your lifestyle stuff sorted because you'll need this on the drug anyway. So you need to strength train 3 times a week at a minimum.
Do you have to do that on the drug?
You have to do that on the drug.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you might as well start that
Well,
to
that
begin
rules
with.
out like 50% of people.
And you need to be eating small portion, very nutrient-dense meals to make sure you get all of your fiber, all of your protein, all of your essential fatty acids. So you need to be very seriously meal planning and meal prepping. Otherwise, you'll become malnourished and you'll have a low appetite because it suppresses appetite. You will also feel sick. So until you're ready and you've started eating really, really well and strength training a minimum 3 times a week, plus try and get 10,000 steps a day, then you're ready for the weight loss drug.
God, I would be like, well, if I'm going to do all that stuff, then I'll just do that and then don't worry about the drug.
And
that's a lot of effort.
You start it, either one needs to be for the rest of your life. So once you stop the drug, you need to carry on with those lifestyle behaviors anyway to keep that weight off. So
that is not really publicized out there. Like, I feel like celebrities just show the highlight reel, the glamour. They do glamorize Ozempic and, like the Kardashians. I don't know if it was product placement or just
how many personal trainers and chefs do they have, So they're having this all done on the side, but they're not saying, oh, by the way, when you have the drug, make sure you've got your personal chef ready to go and your dietitian and your trainers and your new gym and that you've got your new outfit to go walking in, and make sure you get 10,000 steps a day.
Wow.
And that's a responsibility of anyone who's using it to be sharing that information.
For
and
sure.
The drug companies do. So I must say, so Novo Nordisk actually contacted me to do their videos for patient education and GP education on exactly what I just told you. Eating very nutrient dense, lots of veggies, essential fatty acids, lots of protein, strength training. So they are what is needed if you're going to do the drug. So
oh my gosh.
Drugs have side effects. Every drug in the world has side effects.
Yeah.
Do you need the drug to get the outcome? Well, that's up to the individual.
Depends on the person. Yeah. Well, thank you for clearing up. That's a huge misconception. I think that's like an absolute gold right there. So thank you. I do want to come back to, you had the success after Shark Tank and then COVID hit. How damaging, like just straight to the point, how damaging, you said it was destructive. How damaging was it to your business?
20% year on year.
Oh, God.
And that is because I guess year one, we had no idea what was going on. Once you've been locked down for a year, you're like, could this possibly keep going on? So year two, the same thing happens again. And year three, even though it's not lockdown, it's still this uncertainty of could they ever do this to us again? And once we all got out, nobody was sitting at home ordering ready-made meals anymore. They wanted to socialise and go out for meals and see people. And yes, everyone had the COVID kilos, but they also were so fragile because their mental health was destroyed, their relationships, they'd lost people. So it wasn't the time to start I guess I'm a health professional first and foremost, and there is no way that I would be hounding our customers to lose weight and get fit again and do all those things when you know the situation of people losing jobs and poor mental health and
everyone's very
everyone's
fragile straight
homeschooling.
after.
Like the number of times I wanted to chuck the laptop off the balcony,
Gosh.
trying to homeschool and run businesses.
Yeah.
And we had a preppy and grade 2 at the time. And my husband and I, we've got our own businesses. And it's a
I
nightmare.
really feel for all parents that were homeschooling during that period. Yeah,
Scarred.
I
We're all
think
scarred.
a lot of parents do have a
We
lot of
probably scarred the
PTSD.
kids. Yep, we all had tears.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how did you recover from that then?
Rebuilding slowly. I wish there was like a magic bullet for that. And we thought that maybe there would be. Everyone thought that. But look at the state of businesses at the moment and the devastation. And I heard the other day something like 1 in 3 small businesses in Victoria will sink.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough is being done to look after small business. And because of the cost of living crisis, you've got this double-edged sword of you need to increase your prices because everything's gone through the roof. But you know that the customer can't afford that price increase. So who wears that?
And you might lose customers.
Yeah. So the business is wearing those costs. So how are you? Yeah, it's very, very tough.
It's so volatile. I mean, obviously, I'm a lawyer and we work with small businesses and businesses of all sizes. I'm seeing a business close, not just my clients or necessarily my clients, but like every fortnight at this rate.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
And when you see businesses like Menulog and some of these giants, you're like, what happened
like Jeans
there?
West collapsed earlier this year, like a legacy brand, you know? It's shocking.
And even like that huge gym, that Doherty's, and I heard there was something the other day, this a newer business, but they'd accumulated a smaller business, like millions of dollars of debt. And people are like, how do you get in that much debt? I'm like, I can see how they get in that debt because if you're trying to scale something, you're trying to hold inventory, run software, keep a team on, do any development. Yeah. Like it's easy.
You can see how it can happen for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite dire. You're obviously so passionate about food, health. You said you're a health professional first and foremost.
Yeah.
How do you balance that with the other hats that you have to wear? Like if there's a clash, for example, between maybe a clinical point of view and then a commercial reality, how do you align and balance those two hats?
Yeah, well, this is why I don't have lots of investors. I have my crowdfunding because they stand for the values that we stand for, which are really health first. And we made the decision to cut all seed oils out of our products years ago, and we wear that expense. We decided to do all grass-fed beef. We wear that expense. We're not passing these things on. We have no added sugar in any of our product sources, which means we can't use like a cheap and nasty ketchup mayonnaise or any of those man-made sauces that are commonly used in every other food company. We're constantly having people approach us saying, we could make sauce bases. They'll be so much cheaper than you. And I'm like, we can't use a base. We need to make it from scratch. So there is no way for us to shortcut it. And we've got really strong values there. So at the end of the day, our customer loyalty is second to none. I've met with all of the other business owners in our industry. We come across each other at all sorts of things, and we have the strongest customer loyalty out of any home delivered meals business that I have met. And I think I've met them all now in Australia. And like I'm talking customers we don't do subscription. They are one-off orders, but over the sort of 10 years we've been trading, people continue to come back. They might have a couple of years off and then they might spend, do 4 or 5 weeks to reset themselves, and then they might have 6 months off and come back. So other companies tend to, lock people in for a period, then people get sick of it and they go away. We don't lock people in, so they use us when they need us, and then they might come back years later. So that churn for us isn't actual churn, it's waiting time, then we see them pop back up.
And then you have customers anyway that are filling that gap in between as a constant, rollover.
Yeah, those new customers coming in that are just testing and trying. And I think there is definitely a new market there, which is younger people that are looking for, higher protein, healthier foods. There's more health conscious people, even though we initially started off I would say it's weight loss. It was never intended for weight loss. It was intended for health improvement. Take the fat off the liver, take the fat off the pancreas, reverse type 2 diabetes. They're the things we really do. But the side effect of that is you do lose weight and you lose it rapidly. And that was pretty unsexy during COVID too. Rapid weight loss was a really dirty word. It was all about body positivity and you couldn't say weight loss. Mental health, yeah. So we didn't say any of those things for about 5 years. And now with the conversations with GLP-1s, people are talking about it again. And we're best positioned to help those people because we have the products that will help there.
Yeah.
So we do put the customer first at all costs all the time.
I love that.
But they come back to us and like we're talking hundreds of orders, some people, and a lot of people on average are spending thousands a year with us, which is pretty remarkable. It's more than food at the right customer for us.
Yeah.
It's not a decision of what's the tastiest meal. And like I said, they taste good, but you've got to have a healthy palate. It's not Chinese takeaway. There's no sticky sauce. There's no bucket of rice with it. Nothing deep fried.
Yeah,
no sugars.
You're feeding
low
your body.
sodium. Yeah.
Well, good. That's what you want.
Yeah.
A few years ago, you wrote about the 6 things you wish you'd known before starting BeFit Food. You've shared some of those things, but one of the things that stood out to me was you said to question everything.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
I think I've now learnt that I take everything not on face value, but I did. I really did. That even when it came to manufacturers or suppliers, that you think everyone shares your values and has integrity and you think people are out to do the right thing because they have this place in their heart for other people. And I figured out not everyone works like that, very naively. I have my sister's a HR psychology person. She's like, you're so odd.
You're so optimistic.
on my profile, on my disc, I'm the total eye, the peacock, and all my truest value out of some test was to have a jolly team. I want to please people, but not for face value, but for true human connection,
Genuine.
for true change, for whatever it means to connect, not on the surface, like in here. Yeah.
Well, that's great. We need people like you in this world.
It bothers some people, but yeah.
That's all right. I love it for you. When you think about the future of weight loss and health in Australia, what role do you want BeFit Food to play?
This is on my mind all the time, and there isn't a day that goes by that I don't pitch out to some big organisation or someone in a place of influence or power. The first thing that I would love to see is some sort of advocacy in supermarkets. So, for example, I'm quoting, but I would think it's somewhere around 90% of Australians are shopping at some of the major supermarket chains. Now, my experience of being in those supermarkets for 3 years, there was no one looking at how healthy this product is for the health of Australia and the benefits of people. It was all about the price per gram, the value, the discounting, how much you paid to be on shelf, the marketing costs.
The position on the shelf.
It was all about dollars and cents, and I was even told word for word, we will put on the shelves what people want to buy. And when I question that, so if they want an aisle of soft drink, an aisle of chips, an aisle of ice cream, and if the gluten-free section, they just want pastry, pies and cakes, that is what you'll sell? Yep, that's what we'll sell. We will sell what people want to buy. And I'm like, that really disturbed me because I started to realise, hang on, these brands that I was buying on the supermarket shelves, they didn't disappear because people didn't want them. It's because someone else made a decision. There's a better margin on this. There's more money on this. And that bothers me that there is no governing body, that no one is saying, what should we feed us? What should we offer Australians to eat? And we're taking away all of those choices. We're taking away all the little brands that might be trying to do something better. And we're leaving it to a handful of big brands that No offense to the big brands because they are under margin pressure. They have very little margin as well, but they have very high volume. And so there's this pressure to just deliver on margins, and nobody is actually going, look at the health of Australia. We are absolutely diabetes, obesity, fatty liver disease, type 3 diabetes with dementia and Alzheimer's is now the number one killer. It's beaten heart disease. 13 types of cancers are caused by lifestyle-related diseases and poor eating and whatever else, yet nobody's changing what is available to eat. And I'm guilty of online food shopping, but I've noticed online food shopping, I'm not getting the choice I used to get. All of a sudden, I'm taking things that I wouldn't usually buy because I'm too time poor. And I'm like, hang on, who's making these decisions? And the people that are making the decisions are not qualified as medical doctors, dietitians, or anyone to make health decisions. They're making bottom line decisions, and that is a massive problem.
It's almost like they're telling customers, this is what you want. This is what we're putting on the shelves for you. Like I think back to when I was a kid, they always had the chocolates and the chewing gum and things at the checkout because that's when, as a child, you're like, Mom, I want this. And then the parent just can't be stuffed, so they buy it for you. That still happens. There's still chocolates and chewing gum at the, right at the checkout. It's this like...
But now there's a whole aisle of it as well.
The whole confectionery aisle.
You look at the supermarket, it is predominantly, so apparently in Australia, on average, we eat 40% of our diet as ultra-processed food, but in the UK, it is 60% of their diet. So if our supermarkets are stocking, the numbers I've seen are somewhere between up to 70% of the food is ultra-processed in the supermarket. What choice do we actually have? So we've got the government telling us to be healthy, and all these different organisations say eat better. Well, look at the food supply. You're not putting the right food on the shelves.
We're going to head in that same trajectory as the UK if nothing changes.
And we'll cook it yourself. Well, who has time to cook it themselves?
Who's got time? Amongst everything
you can prioritise it, but if the cost of living's that high, you've got to work. You don't have the choice. I just stay at home and just cook for my family.
Oh, I feel like I've got maybe at best 3 times a week to cook at home. I think that's actually pretty good compared to what a lot of people have.
I'm lucky I have a food company and we have family-size wholemeal beef lasagnas because that's what the kids have got tonight.
Well, don't worry. I'll be logging on after this and, placing my order.
I definitely have to say I have the best husband. Like he makes sure those things are sorted.
That's so good.
He's got 2 daughters and he's, their daddy's little girls. So he's constantly they are front and center all the time. So they definitely eat much better with him there as well.
That's so good. Well, your children are very lucky to have 2 parents.
He did ask me what I wanted for dinner tonight if I'd be home. And I was like, about 7:30. Thank you.
I love that. Lastly, I'd love to wrap up by hearing what's one piece of advice you have for someone who has a bold idea?
Go for it and don't look back. Because the moment you look back or listen to anyone else, they will tell you you can't, it's not a good idea. You can find 1,000,001 reasons not to do something. You need to find the reason to do it. And that has to drive you. And if that's not a big enough reason, then find something else because no part of that journey is going to be easy and it will never be easy. I think people think, the first year will be hard. No, every day for the rest of your life. Running your own business will be hard until you exit, and then it'll be a different sort of hard because you would have lost your baby, sold your soul.
Yeah. And you are
going to find purpose all over again.
Absolutely. Well, you're absolutely living proof of that advice that you've just shared. So thank you, and thank you as a 40-year-old hormonal woman. That you've given me just so much insights about what we can put into our bodies and making it accessible to other people like me and just general Australians.
All my friends, feel free, call me anytime. Whenever you're doubting yourself and you think, maybe I should just take an injection, I will ask you if you've started strength training 3 times a week and you've got your perfect meal plan because that'll complement it, but you have to be ready for all those things.
Ready for it, Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
If you loved what you heard, make sure you follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. Or even better, leave us a review. And if you have a bold idea of your own, I'd love to hear from you. Check out the show notes to get in touch.